Welcome back, everyone. It's Ready or Not.
Football edition. I'm Nate the Great.
I'm Chris Stacks, and this is your off-season, or should we say
Preseason.
edition, part 2.
Part 2. So we're going to take off where we left off.
Oh, absolutely.
I believe we were on Colts.
Colts, yes.
Yes. I mean, for those of you who weren't aware of the last video, we were going over some of the off-season moves.
Some of the acquisitions, some of the trades, some of the people sitting on free agency.
Yep. I mean, some of the big stuff, there's a lot more that we did not cover.
Yep.
You're just going to have to do your own research on that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be here all day if we're doing it.
Oh, my goodness.
We can already verify that.
We tried.
So, first off, Colts. Minshew.
Hey, he seems like a good guy as far as moving the ball consistently.
Sure.
He seems like somebody that you can trust to at least not lose the game.
Right. I don't think he did a bad job. He was on Panthers, I believe, right?
No, he was Jags, and then he went to the Eagles.
Okay. Oh, I remember him from the Eagles. That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
I think I actually picked them up after who got hurt? It was the Eagles. It's your guy.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Which one are you talking about?
I know.
There was a lot of quarterback injuries last year. There was a lot of.
I know. So, I mean, who knows? With the Colts, what will we do?
Well, the big challenge with him, and I don't know the rookies as well, but I believe they signed a rookie quarterback, which is the biggest kind of pushback there, if you know what I mean. So
Right.
depending on what happens with the rookie, is he going to stay the quarterback? Is he going to get moved off? So there's a lot of things that can happen that could mess him up, as far as him being the go-to guy in that backfield.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see about that. Jags. We got Evan Ingram.
It's so funny. I was just hearing about Evan Ingram the other day. As soon as I hear about him getting signed, all of a sudden or not getting signed, but moving over,
Right.
they all of a sudden give him an extension with a big contract. At first, I thought they were just picking him up for okay, we got somebody.
Right.
If you're going to pay a tight end, you're probably going to use him.
And then, I mean, Ingram, I like Ingram, but I don't think he's at the peak of his game right now.
I don't think so either. But I also like the fact that the Jaguars themselves are on an upward trajectory to me.
Sure. I mean, you're not going to go down. No, they didn't do poorly last year. They have, who's their quarterback again?
That's why I paused. I like the hair, but I can't think about it.
I know, that's literally what I'm thinking of hair.
I'm like, so this guy's got nice hair, and he looks like he uses a lot of shampoo. Trevor Lawrence.
There you go, Trevor Lawrence.
No idea why.
That was my brother's team, right? Remember? No, never mind.
Where did I just see it? I saw Lawrence. That's how over here. Yeah, your brother's team.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I missed it. So, I mean, we'll see what they can do with the
Right.
tight end. And then we got Broncos. So, Samaje Perine.
Well, I mean, more important than Samaje Perine,
Well, I was going to get to that one. Well, I was going to let you get to that one.
that's more important to me, because Samaje Perine showed that he knows how to play ball. He's been a good backup, a very consistent backup for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you went to the Broncos from last year, which obviously I called that one wrong, but if you go to the Broncos from last year, how would you feel?
Oh, not very well.
You're like, I'm good. I
So
mean,
just stick me as the backup again.
yeah, but you get Sean Payton as a coach.
Could be a whole new team.
Could be. Obviously he's been out of the game, but I mean, look at Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians left the Cardinals, went over to the Bucs, turned that entire show around, and then left. Is Sean Payton coming back for one more hoorah? Going to turn the franchise around and just leave again? Because if he does, it could be a very valuable player. And when he had Ingram and Kamara, he leaned on them both. He had a lot of production as running backs. Before Ingram, he had, I can't think of who it was at this point, but he had somebody else. Also a very reliable back. Every running back that Sean Payton's had has been a very good running back, and his running backs have always been great for fantasy. Always.
So that's going to increase Perine's
Right.
stock.
And even if Javonte comes back on time, which they're now saying he might, he loves using two backs.
Even better.
So if they turn everything else around, he could be a very useful guy.
All right. Then we got Raiders. Who do the Raiders sign?
I don't understand the Raiders. at all. I don't know what they're trying to do. But they got Jimmy G. If nothing else, he looks good.
So Jimmy G, let's see what he does on his third or fourth team.
Fourth.
Fourth.
Right?
So Patriots.
Niners. No, third team. Raiders.
Third team.
Yep.
Okay.
Because they thought he was going to go before, but he ended up staying. So I believe it's his third team. Because he was a backup for a long time, then went over to the Niners. Then from the Niners, he's now on the Raiders. And they weren't sure what they were going to do with him. But at least he's got a home in the Raiders, but they're a very stressful team to me. He's got a great wide receiver, obviously. But is he a kind of quarterback that can get Davante Adams the ball where he needs to get it?
Not so far that we've seen. He's a good manager.
Yeah.
Game manager.
He's a short pass.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, unless Davante Adams has changed in his game, that's not Davante's game.
Right. So, I mean, you add Hooper to that as well. Maybe that can help him a little bit.
Well, Hooper's replacing Darren Waller.
Oh, Darren Waller, which went to the Giants. We talked about that last episode.
So Hooper, I think, is a cool addition. Could be a very good outlet for Garoppolo. If Garoppolo can figure out how to work with Josh Jacobs. Obviously,
Well, Josh Jacobs, still unsigned.
Jingleheimer Schmidt?
I'm sorry.
So yes, Jacobs not being signed is obviously a big deal, but with the new bargaining agreement, if he doesn't sign, he loses a lot.
Right.
So if you put it all together and Garoppolo can figure out how to get Davante Adams the ball, Garoppolo could be a very nice, especially in our league, number 2 quarterback. Very nice. They got plenty of weapons for him. They got a decent offensive line, but can he get the ball to Davante? And is it not going to be 5-yard passes?
So, I mean, but at the same time, as far as the stock goes, if someone has Jacobs, he can just get the ball to Jacobs, and Jacobs can run the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah. But if you're not passing the ball long enough, you can bring people up.
Sure.
That puts
yes.
a lot more pressure on Jacobs.
Yes, no, that's true.
So believe me, I'm in on Jacobs this year as long as he signs his contract. If he waits all the way till season to take that franchise deal and puts him in a position where he can get injured, because how many times in Jacobs' history has he been injured? A lot.
Yeah, I don't have a number.
So if you're not going to go through preseason, that worries me.
All right.
And we've seen that with backs in the past. Oh, I'm going to sit out for training camp. And then they come in and what happens? Soft tissue, ankle, calf, whatever. Do you want that in week 2?
No, probably not.
That's what, especially because where are you going to have to pick Jacobs up?
Well,
if he's not a keeper, where are you going to have to draft him?
First couple rounds.
Right. That's a high draft pick for somebody that doesn't go through spring training or
Absolutely.
preseason.
All right, so let's move on to the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears, they got Deontay Foreman.
Deontay did well last year.
He did. He did do well. They got Deontay Foreman, DJ Moore, Robert Tonyan. So at least, they made a few moves.
At least they're trying to put something around Fields. And if
Yeah.
you had Fields, who had Fields last year? Was it you?
I ended up getting Fields.
Oh, yes.
No one drafted him.
Right.
I got Fields because I needed a quarterback so bad.
Well, if you have Fields, and at least they're putting wide receivers around now. They're like people that can catch a ball.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Tonyan was great with Rodgers as far as being an end zone target for the tight ends. And then DJ Moore has proven to be a quality wide receiver. We haven't seen what his max is, but he also hasn't had great quarterbacks to show with.
So yeah, let's see if that changes this upcoming season.
So yeah, at the very least, I think this upgrades Fields. I think. I could be wrong.
So with Vikings, they re-signed to a larger contract Madison.
Right.
He was the backup running back. Now he's going to be the lead back. So what does he do in that position?
I like the team he's on because they like to run the ball,
Mm-hmm.
but he's never fully impressed me when he goes in to replace Cook for an extended period. When he's like a spot back, like he steps in for a couple plays, he always does well. To me, he hasn't proven to me. I could be 100% wrong. He could be good to go. He could have just been waiting for his turn,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's going to light the world on fire. But
Well, let's see how hungry he is this upcoming season.
I'll say I don't think you're going to see a lot of him on one of my teams. unless I can get him in a later round. If it's an early round draft pick, I don't think you're going to see him on one of my teams.
Huh? Be interesting to find out.
Oh, yeah.
The Vikings were an interesting team last year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got Justin Jefferson on your team. You're always going to be an interesting team. That guy's unworldly.
Oh yeah. Then we got the Falcons.
Heineke. Oh, Heineke. He's another game manager to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think he's going to a team unless they bring in some new people for coaching staff. I don't think that they're putting him in a position where he's going to go out and kill it again. He's got Drake London at wide receiver. They obviously brought in Scotty Miller from the Buccaneers, which I like Scotty Miller, but it's still not a big threat.
Right.
And then you bring in Jonnu Smith, who's been a good touchdown type of guy. Brought him over from the Patriots, but to me, it's not putting Heineke in a position where I see him even as a number 2. I think he might be good for somebody for a number 3 quarterback on your team, a backup or a spot start, if they're in a good matchup.
So what are the other options at quarterback?
They don't have a lot, to be honest with
Yeah, I
you.
don't know about the Falcons' depth in the quarterback position.
So the Falcons right now, I think it's NFC South. Yes, it is. So they signed him.
Desmond Ridder. Was that a quarterback? I mean, a rookie they picked?
Yes. So it's either him or Desmond Ridder.
But just kind of bring it back. I don't know if
But
you want
to me, it doesn't mean Desmond Ridder is going to be ready to step in and be the starting guy. Oh, sorry, no. Desmond Ridder was a rookie last year. Pardon me. Yeah, he was signed in 2022. 63.5% completions. Yeah, I think they're still planning on starting Heineke though. But I don't see him playing the whole year. So you're going to be playing quarterback roulette.
if you're playing with the court on the Falcons, planning on playing Falcon QBs.
Right. And also, again, he doesn't have enough weapons to put an average quarterback in a good position.
Right. All right. So next team made quite a few moves.
Oh my goodness, this team, the Panthers, like, not only coaching change, again, but I mean, how many different pieces did they add to that team?
Well, you got Andy Dalton, who I would say Andy Dalton's a solid QB.
Hey, the Red Rocket.
Right, the Red Rocket. So put a team around him. You got Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
You got DJ Chark, Adam Thielen, Hayden Hurst.
Right.
And I mean, I don't think Thielen's done yet. He was number one wide receiver a few years ago before Justin Jefferson came in and straight up took it from him. I can't argue from Jefferson's skill, but I think Thielen can do it again, given in the right system.
So before I give my feedback on that one, what do you think about Sanders?
Oh, I still think Sanders has a lot to give as well.
So we're going to differ on this one.
Okay.
That's why I'm glad we're doing this. So Thielen, to me, is going to be the number 2 on that team.
Behind
I
what?
think it's going to be DJ Chark,
I mean, that's definitely possible.
which I don't love DJ Chark either. But I think for that team, I think Thielen is on the back half of his career.
I'm not arguing that, but I still think he has a lot to give.
I think he's going to be a good role player, but I think if you've got him on your team, you're looking at 5, maybe 6 points a week.
Okay.
Which, especially in our league, 5, 6 doesn't
Yeah,
do a
it's
whole
not.
hell of a lot.
That's fair.
And Sanders, which I was looking at Sanders because he was somebody that I wanted to try to target and get him a couple of, not early, not late, but not first round as
Yeah,
a running
mid.
back. And I'm worried because you don't have Jalen Hurts, which is scaring the shit out of the defense. You don't have A.J. Brown on the outside. You don't have Dallas Goedert going through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have that thing taking all the attention off you here. Like, are they worried about Andy Dalton's 40-year-old butt running?
Red Rocket. You said it yourself.
His arm, not his legs. So Sanders is somebody that I was looking at, and now I'm worried. I don't think that he's going to do for people's fantasy teams what they think that he's going to do. I think he's going to be a number 18 to 24 running back.
18 to 24?
Yeah.
They quote you on that?
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll get back
I
to you
could be
on that.
wrong. What are you thinking?
I don't know enough about how the
Fantasy-wise.
I know we're talking about fantasy. With the Panthers right now and the running back situation in general, I'll put him 10 to 15.
Put that down. My goodness. Where's our dollars? All right. Okay. So Panthers are going to be interesting. Panthers are going to be very interesting.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
And
we
then
got the Saints.
Derek Carr.
Your boy.
He's one of those guys, and obviously they signed Williams as well. I'm so glad to see, which they didn't sign him, they brought him back. So glad to see Foster Moreau back on the team. I believe it was leukemia he went through. They thought he was done, and now only a year later he's suiting back up,
Yeah.
which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, good for you, my man. That's so amazing.
And that being said, I'm very interested to see what he does.
Well, and
after
also
the
throws
recovery.
things off because now you got 3 tight ends on that team.
Oh, is that my brother's team?
I didn't know you owned the Saints. Can I get some tickets?
It's not that far. We can make it.
Hey, I'll get over there for that. But to me, Carr could either be amazing on this team because you've got good wide receivers. You've got 3 tight ends. You got a gadget player in Taysom Hill. You've got, well, depending on the suspension for Camaro, you've got running backs. What else could Carr want? If you don't do well, it's on you.
Right.
Literally on you.
So yeah, I mean, definitely interested to see that one. That's going to be an interesting division as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, interesting / terrible, but that's what they always are. So is it going to be, the winner is going to win that division with a, awful record? Last year the Bucks won with, I think it was a 8-9 record.
Yeah.
So is that going to happen again this year, or are we going to?
They better not.
They should literally wipe the floor with this division.
Well, I mean, like I said, we still have the other teams that made some moves. I'm hoping at least someone has a winning record.
That would be,
So right now.
great. That'd be great.
So that being said, the last team in that division, we got the Bucks. They brought him in, Baker Mayfield.
You didn't have anybody else? I mean, obviously, Baker, what was it, 5 years ago now? 4 years ago now? He had 1 year on the Browns where he looked like he knew how to be a quarterback.
Was that the first year?
Yeah.
When he had all those commercials?
Yeah. And then ever since then, he's been terrible.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you've got 2 wide receivers,
Mm-hmm.
2 very good wide receivers, mind you. You bring in Edmonds, who's a quality back. You've got their other back, which I'm blanking on his name right now. He was a rookie last year, who could be a decent help. Not Jones. It'll come to me. But he could be somebody that could be useful for them. So, my question or it's not even my concern. It's I want to be able to believe in them. But can you? Can you believe in Baker? Do you want to draft him as your second quarterback?
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
That's not a good answer. Maybe I'll take you.
No, I won't. You take him. It's
Yeah,
good
yeah,
for
you should take him. I think it'd be a good pick for you.
Great. Maybe first pick, first QB.
Yeah, first QB. Look at the wide receivers he's got.
Yeah. Got a lot of help.
And Chase Edmonds, the offensive line wasn't great last year. But Edmonds seems to be somebody that just puts up numbers. So if they give him enough touches, could be a very good back.
Sure.
Could be a very good back. I feel like I'm being very political today because I don't love this division. Now, let's get to the more fun part. So you guys want to know what we're thinking about you guys. So who's been thinking about keepers? And I've been thinking about keepers.
A little bit. I haven't been thinking much because I don't have many options.
You don't have many options. But so we're going to give you guys some reminders. We're going to give you what we thought that you guys might be picking. And remember, so you can only keep people that you had on your team for the entire season from the draft. If you drop them and pick them back up, can't keep them.
If you traded them.
If you traded them, can't keep him, and the person that you traded him to can't keep him. So we went through and made some notes.
Wait, one last note. If you kept them last year or this year, last
Yes.
season, they move up a spot in the draft.
They move up a round.
A round. There you go.
Round.
Move up a round.
Yeah, not a spot. I picked them 8th last year. Can I pick them 7th this year? No.
No. 8th round goes to 7th round.
So let's start off. This guy had a rough season. Had a very rough season, to be honest with you.
Who are you talking about? Talking about me?
Steiger.
Steiger. And I don't know why.
Because
Last year was so
everybody in
weird.
his team played so bad.
But he had such a stacked team.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So I'm so glad you can't keep the whole team.
Absolutely.
But looking at the list, we found you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You had 9 people you kept all season. That was, I think, the highest or the second highest of everybody, which is very interesting
Pretty
for
sure
how bad
it was.
he did. But you start on the bottom of the list. You had Hopkins, Cooper, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Higgins, Brady, Debo, Mark Andrews, and McCaffrey. Who did you see him keeping? Who would you look at?
I don't know. I'm torn between Jacobs and Taylor.
Likewise. Yeah,
So,
I
and
see
I would put them in the
Jacobs' side.
same position
Yeah,
because
which is funny enough.
it'll be 9th round either way. Because Taylor was in the 10th round, you kept him last year, put him in the 9th. Jacobs is the 9th round, so either way, you'd have a 9th round keeper unless you pick someone higher. Unless you want to pick Brady, I mean he's not playing
That's
anymore.
what I was going to say. He's going to do well in the booth. But no, I actually was looking at the exact same ones. Obviously, I like Hopkins, but he just got traded. We don't know if he's going to be the true number one. There's a lot of question marks there.
Amari Cooper's good, but I'm not
Sold
putting
on
him
Deshaun
above.
Watson yet with that.
Well, yeah, but I'm still not
Oh, yeah,
putting him
true.
over Taylor or Jacobs.
Right. So, and obviously Christian McCaffrey is amazing, but do you want to keep a one?
Yeah.
Do you want to keep somebody in the one when you have those high of people all the way down to the 9th?
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that one. Then we got Christina, Champ no more. Oh, I mean Champ previously known as Champ.
So you already changed your name, right?
Yes, but she was Champ.
I know, I remember.
She had starting at the bottom, Cordero Patterson. Why do we circle Fields?
Because someone did draft him. I was looking
Oh,
at that.
yes,
We're doing
yes.
So Christina did draft Fields, but ended up dropping him, and I picked him up later. I think I picked him up immediately.
Oh yes, that's what it was.
And it was like 3 people trying to go for him. I was like, no, I need
Yes.
him.
So Cordero Patterson, Kirk Cousins, Josh Allen, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, and Justin Jefferson.
You missed one. Number 2.
Oh, Ezekiel Elliott,
Your boy.
who no longer has a team.
No one has a team. Free agent.
So I was looking at it, and obviously I think you're going to say the exact same thing. You can keep Justin Jefferson, but again, it's keeping it in the first,
Mhm.
and depending on which pick she gets this year, but it has to be Josh Allen.
Yeah. Even with him having to move up around,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still Allen in the 7th.
Allen in the 7th? Yeah,
Yeah.
I would take Allen in the first.
You're not keeping Cousins. Patterson, you're not keeping
no.
14th round even. And the top 3, I mean, yeah, it's got to be Allen.
It's got to be. To me. So we were looking at Truss, actually. So you're looking at him in the 7th? That's still a steal. It's still a steal.
Then we got my brother's team, Will Rodriguez.
3 TEs, or was.
3, yeah, was 3
Formerly
T's.
known as 3 TEs.
And then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 players that he
Just
can
less.
keep.
Just less.
Just less. So we got Kirk, we got Trevor Lawrence, we got Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Waddle, Burrow, Keenan Allen, Saquon Barkley, and Kelsey. So quite a few.
He should keep Kelsey.
He actually, funny enough, I did talk with my brother after filming the last episode and before doing this one. We haven't released it yet, but I gave him a little touch of what we're going over, and he's debating on that.
So the only reason, because there's not many leagues what I would say that in, because we're a shorter amount of leagues. If Kelsey's the same guy, Kelsey is a difference maker at that position where, depending on what happens with the rest of the tight ends, you could have Kelsey, say Mark Andrews or Dallas Goedert or whoever, but there could be that much of a gap. So that could be a difference maker every week on
Which
your
is
team.
pretty much exactly what he said. Like, there's no other tight ends.
Right.
Like, he won't do 3 tight ends, apparently. He's going to forsake himself on that. But that being
I
said,
might make my last 2 picks tight ends just so I can have 3 tight ends.
now that being said, who are the other options? You got Waddle in the 7th. I think would be a good keeper.
Not a bad one. I don't know if I would bet my franchise on it.
Who else
For
are you
me,
thinking?
if I would look at that, it would be Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence was the other one we discussed. Trevor Lawrence in the 13th round.
That could be easily your number 2 quarterback, and you're getting him in the 13th.
Agreed. And then he has, who did he have? Well, Evan Engram added with tight end.
But they already had two decent wide receivers.
No, and
they've got
did
a
well.
running game.
They can put points on the board.
Yeah.
There's no doubt
That's
about
a
that.
very strong number 2.
So we have, so in the 13th round, Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong there, but we'll see what he does.
Right, 100%.
Then we got Justine. Justine has 9 actually.
9, yeah. Oh, actually, yep, same as Steiger.
There you
That's a
go.
lot.
So we got Pollard, we got Lockett, we got Prescott, we got Kupp, we got Pitts, we got Murray, Fournette, Hill, and Mixon. So solid lineup.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them in the first 7 rounds. First 7 rounds were all keepers. Got them all year. I'm thinking Pollard.
Honestly,
They drop Zeke. Pollard's now going to be the main back, and it's in the 14th round.
the 14th round is the part that makes me really lean towards Pollard.
That's the thing that's
Not
really.
even just as a Cowboys fan. I'm just like 14th round.
I mean, you're not keeping Prescott.
Nope.
Kupp is a possibility,
Yep.
but he was the keeper last year, so it's going to move up to the 5th round. 5th round
still-
Kupp is still not bad. It's
Kupp
still
is
a good pickup.
Kupp is a top 5 pick.
Yeah. So Kupp is still. I mean, I wouldn't bat an eye to Kupp to being Kupp, having Kupp as your keeper.
Yeah.
Pitts, I wouldn't say
wouldn't.
Pitts. Murray after last year, Murray.
Murray's still hurt. He's not 100% healed yet.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Maybe,
So
maybe Tyreek.
Tyreek Hill is another very solid pick. It's 2nd round because he's definitely going in the 1st round. And if you guys didn't know, I think we've actually might have mentioned in the last video, he's going for 2,000 yards this year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's crazy. We did mention that last week.
We did.
We did. That's
bringing it up again.
That's if he really has that set in his heart and he goes for it, that could be a massive person to have on your team. Massive person. As long as well, they got 2, but now they got a decent backup. That could be a crazy year for somebody. I'm agreeing with you. I would lean towards Pollard. If I'm not doing Pollard, which is I'm just getting a really good back way down, which means I can be more aggressive with quarterback or whoever up top.
Mhm.
As long as I think that my position where I'm going to be drafting it puts me in that area.
Speaking of which, I meant to ask this, and I think this would be good for our viewers. Do you pick your keeper after you have the order of the draft?
I believe we did last year.
Okay. So we have the order, then we
Yes.
pick our keeper.
Yep.
Okay, because
But
that's
I-
going to
but
make a
I've gotta know
difference in who
before
we're
the actual
picking.
draft.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
But at least we know the order. That can make a big difference in
Yep.
what keeper we're picking.
Yep. And then Nate Rod, 1, 2,
Keep looking.
2.
Oh, cool.
So I'm pretty sure I know who you're gonna keep.
Are you
had,
sure?
You had Lamar Jackson and Aaron Jones in the 3rd. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. 50-50 shot there.
You got a 50-50. I got a 50-50 of being right. Lamar just got some new weapons. He just got a massive contract. He's got something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you got Aaron Jones, but what the heck is Green Bay going to be this year?
I don't know. Maybe there'll be a full run game. Aaron Jones gets a lot.
I mean, that is a possibility, but I still think Lamar in the 4th. Lamar's a top 5 fantasy option to me for quarterbacks. And you get him in the 4th, locked in. That's where I would go.
I'm gonna be honest. It's either that or I pick no keeper, and I just
You have to have a keeper.
okay. Well, then it's Jackson.
You
You heard it here first.
heard it here first.
All right, then we got Chris Stacks. So you have 6 potential keepers. You got Tua, you got Hurts, you got Montgomery, Lamb, Diggs, and Kamara. So Kamara, we don't know what's going on with the suspension. You're not keeping
He's
him.
not keeping
I know it's not happening. Diggs is a possibility. I know you love Diggs. Lamb, I don't know if you go Lamb. Not that you don't like Lamb, but just not going to go. Montgomery, I'm thinking you're sticking with Hurts.
It's probably
as your
it's
keeper,
probably going to be Hurts.
which is going to move up around. Yeah, move up to the 7th.
Hurts in the 7th, I can deal with. And
Hurts in the 7th would be good.
unless something really crazy happens. That's if he didn't get hurt last year, my goodness.
Oh yeah.
And I think they made the team better. Like,
Is he healthy?
yeah,
Okay. So, I mean, I'm thinking you're picking Hurts. I don't know what decision could happen unless someone gets hurt or something that can change that.
That would be really, unless he all of a sudden has aggravated whatever, which is going to move me up into like the 2nd round, which is going to upset me. But yeah, that's probably what it would be. And then we got Andrew Prue. Prue had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had Hawkinson, Godwin, Jamar Chase, DJ Moore, Travis Etienne, Justin Herbert, James Conner. I'm looking at it. I think you should keep Hawkinson.
Hawkinson in the 12th round?
At least it's 12th round. But no, obviously Jamar Chase is killer. You got Herbert.
If you keep Chase, it'll move it up around from the 9th to the 8th.
Yeah, you got Chase or Herbert to me. I like Herbert in the 4th in a 2 QB league. But Chase all the way in the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Chase is going this year in the top 3. It's not a running back heavy year, it's a wide receiver heavy year. So if you can get Chase in the 8th, that's a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then even if you had to draft a quarterback a little bit earlier, you're not taking a chance of losing Chase.
Right.
Which we know, as long as he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be a dominant force at that position.
Right.
And then we got Tebow. Oh shoot, we should have called Justine Tebow's coach. Missed that one.
But Tebow's got 8, which is interesting. Because remember, we talked about this.
Replacements.
Tebow's replacements. We thought he gave up like all his team, but apparently they were just all in IR.
Yeah.
And he got rid of the other half. I'm the one that's the replacements. Only had 2 keepers the whole year. Watson. Still don't know what's going on there, but we got Monroe St. Brown. We got Dobbins, Smith-Schuster, Wilson, Mahomes, Eckler, and Chubb.
You know, I love Chubb. And they said that they're going to give him the ball in the passing game more this year. If they get him the ball in the passing game, he's going to be the number 1 running back.
But you keep him in the 1st round.
Well, I'm not saying to keep him, but I'm saying that
Okay.
he could be the number 1 running back this year. Not number 5, not number 10. He could be the number 1 running back this year if they throw him the ball. And I'm looking at this, and there's one person that I almost think you have to keep because of who he is and what he does. Correct. But there's one that's really intriguing to me, and it's so wild. No.
I was guessing. I don't know.
Does Deshaun Watson have the ability, after playing a half a season and then going through a full... Because remember, he didn't get to work out with the team last year until he suited up.
Right.
He was not able to practice until the week he went to play after not playing for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
You can be good and you take off 6 months and you don't look like the same person.
Right.
Take off 18 months and never practice with anybody on your team. And he did have, I think it was the last 2 games, he started to look like he knew what he was doing a little bit. Give him a whole offseason if he's the same guy that he used to be, which was a long time ago now. He could be an absolute, what is it, the 11th?
So now the question is, will he go, if you don't keep him, will he be higher up in the draft? I think people are going to go, will you be the one going for him?
I think he would, I don't
If
think he'll
Tebow
make it
doesn't.
to the 11th.
I don't think, okay.
He's a very good potential number 2. But Mahomes is not going to make it to the 4th.
Absolutely not.
I mean, funny enough, we didn't have any quarterbacks in the 1st round last year. Our
And
first,
Mahomes was the first quarterback drafted.
right? Well,
Yeah, no, I
yeah.
thought listening.
Mahomes. That's what I was just thinking. Mahomes was the first quarterback off the shelf.
It started off that entire round of quarterback picks.
Right. And I was one of the ones that didn't take a quarterback that round. But yeah, that started the run. So will he move? How much will he move up this year? Can you get him again in the 4th, anyways? Could you keep Watson in the 11th and get Mahomes in the 3rd?
Mm-hmm. That's another thing that could be determined by your position in the draft.
Correct. But that to me is the only
So you're thinking Tebow's keeping a quarterback either way?
on that team. Yeah, because Nick Chubb or Austin Eckler,
So
you're going to get one of them in the first round or the second round, anyways.
well, Eckler would be have to be first round if
Yeah.
you were to keep him again.
Well, yeah. So both of the guys that he has, he'd have to keep in the first.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, if keeping with the QB picks, he did draft the third QB. Is he keeping him?
Maybe he's going to come back and make a name for himself this year. Show that he, I know he lost his coach last year, like his mental coach, which is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he got everything back together. Maybe having Sean Payton there, because how did quarterbacks do under Sean Payton?
He did all right.
Hall of Fame.
So for those who don't know, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson now, having Sean Payton at the helm as a coach.
Maybe your prediction was a year early.
I think it was. I think
Maybe.
I think I was just, I was seeing so far into the future that I said it a year early.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll go with that.
Sounds better.
Definitely, because that did not pan out. It did not age well.
That was so. I've never been that far off. I did not know his coach died. For all fairness, I didn't know his coach died.
You should have known. If you can
I
predict
should have
something,
known.
you should predict all.
I
of it.
should have known, but no. I mean, that's our picks. Any other picks that you saw that you thought stood out?
No, I mean that's pretty much it.
Keeping in the first in a keeper league, if you have other people, to me doesn't make sense.
Unless they're amazing, which either way I wouldn't like. There's a whole, first round of people that
Unless
need
the
to be
whole
picked.
first round is keepers. Well, actually, if the whole first round is keepers, you're going to get your guy anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I agree.
And it's not like we have a 12 or 14 person league. We have an 8-person league. So there's more than 8 good players at both positions. If you want to look at
Absolutely.
quarterback, or sorry, you want to look at running back and wide receiver, you've got more than 8 great players at each position.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving you guys kind of my
Get
strategy.
Kelsey at the beginning.
That's the Kelsey one.
If my brother doesn't keep Kelsey, you better take him first round.
Well, hopefully your brother doesn't.
He's like, I'm not going to keep him in the second round. I'm just going to take him in the first.
If your brother's right after me in the second, I might. If he doesn't keep Kelsey, I might take Kelsey just for the point.
Feeling that too.
That'd be kind of interesting. He's like, yeah, but I couldn't.
Who would he keep? Oh, we're starting to keep Lawrence. Okay. Just still think it's a good pick.
To me, I think that'd be a great pick. But yeah, guys, we're coming up. 2 things that I wanted to throw out there for the draft. I'm going to put out some feelers in the chat to see a date. I
Mhm.
want to do it close because I don't like people. I've done drafts where it's 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, your quarterback gets injured, and you're like, what? Like, what do I do now?
On that topic, if we can, live.
Oh yeah, anybody in Florida, let's get together. Hell, we'll go to my office. We'll get some
But
food,
even then, have maybe a feed.
or even shit at the house.
FaceTime.
Yeah. Oh, or we can do FaceTime. Yeah.
What was I was saying?
Zoom.
Have everyone in.
Yeah, and then
the people that just straight up don't live in Florida.
Yeah.
They can hop on a Zoom.
Put them on the TV.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect. And then something I want to have you guys process, if you want to think about it, we always do, or in my league, we've always just done, whoever's the worst right now, you're getting the highest pick, or whoever didn't use their pick last week, you're going to get the highest pick this week on the free agency. Are you guys open to looking at doing a FAB budget, free agent acquisition budget? That means just because Nate's the worst in the league doesn't mean that because, who got hurt in the beginning there? Somebody got hurt, so he went to pick up Justin Fields because his team was the worst, he gets him. Instead, you have to bid, and you get a budget for the year, and now you're bidding on the players that are available versus just picking them up.
Now, does your budget roll over if you don't use it a certain week?
You get a budget for the year. It's not
For
for
the
a
year.
Yeah,
So you can go through your budget in the first couple weeks,
I've seen it.
and you just straight up can't pick up anybody, or there's people that are worth 0, or you can put a bid on 0, no
You can put a
bids.
bid on 0, yeah. It puts a little bit more strategy into just picking up. And I mean, I've seen people in other leagues blow $68 of a $100 budget in the first week because XYZ went down, and I think it was Jamal Charles was on the waiver wire, and they threw out like their entire budget on him.
Draft doesn't count towards FA.
Draft does not count.
Interesting.
That would be an auction setup. This one I just like it because Steiger had a bad year last year. If Steiger goes to the waiver wire, Steiger doesn't automatically get the player. It's based on strategy. Is it worth me picking up? Who was somebody that didn't get drafted last year that ended up on somebody's team?
You're not going to find them here.
I know. I'm trying to think. Just because the backup, Tony Pollard. Just because Tony Pollard wasn't on anybody's list, and if Steiger was having a bad year, so he gets to pick up that person because he has the first pick. Instead of that, it's more of an actual tactic. Do I really want this person? How much am I willing to pay for this person? So it adds a little bit more strategy to it. You guys think it over. Let me know. But I'm Chris Stacks.
Nate the Great.
And we'll see you guys on the gridiron.